Oh, you didn't know? Welcome back to another episode of the LTS Wrestling Podcast. It's me. It's that NICC. And I'm here with JoJo J. And we've got a special guest here today from Island Pro Wrestling. It's the owner, Justin. What's going on, fellas?
How you doing, guys?
What's cracking? Really quick. Special shout out, birthday. Happy birthday, Justin.
Happy birthday, Justin.
Happy birthday, Justin. Thank you for joining
me blush, guys. You're making me blush. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for joining us today. It's definitely a pleasure having you on our show. And to everyone that continues to subscribe and follow us, again, thank you for joining us today. Great episode coming up here just because, our honorary guest, Justin from Island Pro Wrestling, we're going to go in and talk wrestling and some shop here, but definitely want to get a little bit more, insight as to your world of Island Pro Wrestling, Justin. So, welcome again. And,
thank you.
I kind of want to get this out of the way here, but yeah, just real quick, how'd you hear about us? Because, I don't want to say we're big time like you. So,
I mean, word of mouth, man. And I mean, due diligence too. I do all my homework. I go around, I do some networking. I speak to a lot of different people, get some recommendations from them.
Nice.
I'm, on YouTube, Facebook, searching up like-minded people like yourselves. We're all wrestling fans, and I mean, why not connect and build that network even bigger, right? So.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Justin out here champagning and campaigning, man.
Always. That's the hustle of a promoter, man. There's always something to be pushing.
I could imagine, man. It just feels like this world of wrestling now is just it's continuing to grow, but obviously we're learning a little bit more of especially some of the smaller promotions, and it's just kind of nice to know we have so many different options. And I'm not gonna lie and make it seem like I've kind of delved into some of the promotions outside of the US, but man, it's kind of nice to have a good actual insight on that.
I take your Canadian debut spot or what?
Absolutely.
Yo, 100%, bro. 100%.
Exactly.
We worldwide, baby.
Yeah. And Justin, knowing that you're basically the guy behind the promotion, right? What kind of inspired you to start your own wrestling promotion, and what was your vision behind it?
So, I actually have more people behind me than we think. We built a board of directors whenever we bought the company. I actually purchased the company from another guy who had it here locally, and he was looking to get out of it. He was, there was some brand damage things that, we had to go through, but me and my best buddy, Chris Frizzle, shout out Chris Frizzle. He's probably going to be watching this on his Starlink in the middle of the woods in Alberta. So,
Nice.
but yeah, he joined forces with me, and we bought Island Pro Wrestling, and we just committed to doing this fun first. We got to be doing this for fun. It's more of a passion project than anything. And he was on board with that right away. But to do that, we needed to have more minds at the table. So we shopped off some ownership, built a board of directors, and now there's 7 of us involved. So in our board of directors, we got 7, and then we've kind of just sliced it up. There's a creative department, there's a marketing department, and people just kind of have their own little niche skills that they've been adding to the mix and making it work. So, but getting into wrestling, I was always a passionate wrestling fan growing up. I kind of drifted away from wrestling for a little bit, but I got back into the revival, and there was that local promotion here, Island Pro Wrestling, and I went to a few of their shows. He had asked me to sponsor with my construction company, Jet Drywall and Painting. That was actually Carlito's show. Carlito came up here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we sponsored that event and went to the show, and I was just like, oh, man, this is awesome. There's such a good community of people here. But then there's also me that's this could be better.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's all that constant evolution.
That's always the wrestling community, bro. The wrestling community always thinks it could be better.
Yeah.
It's only a few of them would actually, do exactly what you did, though. I'll say that.
So I
That's
mean, like
cool.
we wanted to elevate that experience for the community. Let's give them a good production value. Let's set the stage with the
Mhm.
great talents. Like we'll just continuously like build the promotion in a more professional manner, I guess you would say.
Yeah, it's interesting you said that because I saw your last show, Game On. I think that was one of the more recent ones.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
And
buddy. Yeah,
I'm like, okay, for an indie show, like the video production was on point. I'm like,
Yes.
some of those angles, I was like, this is not your traditional indie production. And
yeah.
I applaud you, man, because that definitely shows your I guess the well versed of how you want to present the product, and clearly tying it back to you saying this it could always be better, and absolutely like small touches like this, right, can actually elevate the product.
I mean, you were happy to see that show, and I still had takeaways after the fact that I'm like, we're gonna make this better next time, right? So
Right.
I was just trying to push that needle and like kind of grow the promotion in a positive manner. But I got to give a shout out to Housefront Productions. They're the guys that did our production
Nice.
stuff for us, and they bought in right away because like as a production company, they're mostly doing like concerts or small
Mm,
events and stuff like that, more like small audio visual. When I approached them about doing a wrestling event, they're like, yeah, we're going to bust out the pyro. We're going to bust out all the cool toys, like really get that pop going on. So
right.
it was awesome to have them like buy in just like that too. So
They
Justin,
did a great job.
yeah,
I, I,
they
wa- I
did a
wanted to,
fantastic job.
Justin, I wanted to ask you, like, I heard that you have a background in music, right?
Mhm.
And I want to know if that helps with the, I guess, production aspect, and also the name Island Pro Wrestling. Did you ever want to change it? What does the Island Pro Wrestling name stand for you? I guess, and because I'm not from Canada, obviously, I want to know,
Yeah.
like, is there like when you think island, I'm thinking about Nick. He's in the island of Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really well versed in Canada. Is it an island in Canada? What's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, so we're actually the smallest province in all of Canada. We are an island. It takes you 3.5 hours to drive from one tip to the other tip. Like our population is like 178,000 people or something. Like it's a very small part of Canada. But with the modernization and globalization with the internet, now we can
Yeah.
reach everybody, right? So
Oh yeah.
um, but kind of going back to your question about coming from music, yeah, there's definitely a lot of crossover traits from like booking a tour for a band to booking a wrestler. There's a lot of like crossover traits with like how you're going to set the stage for these people to perform the best of their abilities. Um, but then there's like weird things too, like I would think of in music that may not translate to wrestling totally. Like a lot of the indie guys and stuff here, they're not used to like a production value where I'm like, okay, when you come through the curtains, step on this spot, hold that pose for a minute. They're usually just like ready to come storming out to the ring, work the crowd up and stuff like that. We're offering them an opportunity to get those glamour shots. So we want you to be like posted in here for a second, let the production guys get their shots, there's just more to it than just booking an indie match of like, hey, these guys and these guys get in there and show us what you got. We want them to show us what they got, but we want to be able to like showcase it to like the masses appropriately.
The devil's in the details, as they say.
Yeah,
That's
man.
very awesome. That's a very awesome
It's
answer.
all the little things. It's all the little things.
And I like how you kind of said the piece about the wrestling, right? Like clearly that's what we're watching, but at the same time, there's also different elements to it where we get a little bit more engagement. So obviously our podcast is called long-term storytelling. So
Yep.
based on how you look at things, what are your long-term storytelling goals, and how do you kind of book the show based on like I guess crowd reactions and like the momentum that they give you guys?
So it's kind of weird. Like, as I said, I kind of think out of the box from wrestling a lot of the times. But when we're trying to sell a storyline, we're not just thinking about somebody coming in for one episode and then bouncing and then we don't see them in our story anymore. We want to be booking talent that's going to be returning faces to our promotion. People are buying into selling more than just a match to the fans. Like, that was one of my promises. I was like, I always want the fans going home feeling like, hey, I bought a $30 ticket, but I got $100 in value.
Yeah.
Like, just have them going home feeling like we really tried our best to make sure that they were getting their money's worth every step of the way. Because without the fans, there's no promotion, right? And
Right.
without the
Exactly.
promotion, there's no shows, and like it just kind of steamrolls over there. So
Oh, nice. And I think it's interesting, right? Because that's kind of what draws people back. Like I think when you think about like having one episode or like one show and you're just focused solely on wrestling, the action, it's great. But what makes you want to come back? And I think when you have like stories and incorporated, right, it kind of leaves like some of these open-ended like scenarios where it's like I am kind of intrigued. Like I want to like see how this kind of further drags out. And I
yeah.
think that missing piece there tends to kind of like be an afterthought if like we do get too fixated on the action, right? It's like all these high spots and like it's like, oh man, like it gets a little bit acrobatic, Circus Soleil, but it's just an element of wrestling that I think gets
I
too
mean,
emphasized.
wrestling is telling a story, right? It's the
Right,
good
exactly.
versus the bad. So
Absolutely.
like we always want to have a continuational storyline, adding new characters in, maybe getting some beefs between people,
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. But it's weird because not a lot of people around here offer the storyline availability to the fans. And like we recommend everybody follow us on social medias to stay up to date with the storylines and stuff. Everything's at Island Pro Wrestling. I'll throw that in there. But like if you're following us on the social medias and then you see the show, like there's definitely Easter eggs along the way if you were
Nice.
following the storyline that you would kind of like pick up on at the event if you were paying attention.
Right.
But in saying that, it's really unique that we have to write the matches and stuff like that as if somebody wasn't following and they're there for the first time and just engaging with the
Right.
show for the first time. So it's like a very fine balance of like how much you can sell the story at any particular time. Like you still need to have that like natural fan engagement, but also like kind of right to the marks, I guess you would say too. Like
Right.
everybody who's kind of watching along the way.
Got it.
Justin, I would say the high spots in a wrestling match is like the hits in a concert. We love the hits.
Yeah.
Play the hits, right? And when you're talking about long-term storytelling, and then you did mention you had a board of directors in your think tank of, I guess, the creative, y'all get along pretty well. How fleshed out is the
Man,
story
it's-
for you guys?
Yeah, like it's so weird you kind of ask that question that way because I've had other people ask me if like the creative side of things get along okay.
Yeah.
We've never had a problem, but I've heard now that like in creative for different promotions, there's a lot of like headbutting and it's like it's got to be my story and like all this sort of stuff. But we've just like naturally found this great chemistry amongst. There's really four of us that are kind of holding it down on the creative side of things. But like we
Right.
found this like weird natural chemistry with everybody where like they just bounce ideas until it kind of comes to the finished product. So it may be your idea, but we got his input and then added mine, and then maybe we tweak some things along the way. But we give everybody a say in that matter. And we all know that it's for the fans. We're writing it for the fans. What's going to be the best thing for the fans? So I may have something cool that I want to do, but it doesn't make sense to do it right now because the fans won't digest that appropriately. So shout out to Adam Doucette, Dwayne Broderick, Chris Frizzle for all the creative stuff that we've been doing. And it's just super cool too because we get this like weird mix of like old school traditional wrestling all the way to like death matches. So we
Nice.
kind of like fall somewhere like in between where we're still doing this like gritty attitude era type like wrestling, but still kind of keeping some of the old school factors and then still teasing some of the death matchy sort of stuff too, right? So
I mean, to
and
follow
like
up this question, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, and like I like how you were talking about like long-term storytelling stuff, right? So like my first interaction with your promotion, it was Game On as well, and like I was watching a couple of the matches as well. So like that one match that ended up in a no contest contest one where the Ghostbusters guys came down. And then, no, you know what? Like I had no idea like who any of these guys were, but like just the way
I bet you were entertained though,
bro. I was.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna even lie. Like I wanna come back and watch it just to see like why these guys have beef, who these guys. You know what I mean? It was entertaining, and you know that's exactly the kind of stuff you want to come back and watch for.
And it's so cool.
The storytelling
too,
part.
Well, even with the storytelling, there's like things that we may want to do as a story, but then there's things that just naturally, organically happen. And like that Logan Green versus Ricky Mortis match, that was like something that naturally evolved there. And we're like, okay, it's something that's working. It's something that the guys are passionate about. It's something that the fans are loving. And there's room for improvement on upcoming shows to do more with that natural storyline, right? So, but yeah, it ended in a no contest, and the three of those dudes put him through a door pretty heavy. So,
but that was awesome, though.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
Justin, I was gonna ask you, since you're in creative and you're very very involved in it as the part of the board of directors. What is one that you could say, yeah, I did that story. I'm pretty proud of that story.
I would say the original storyline we did with Zane Valentine and his manager, No Class Eric Bass.
There you go.
And it was kind of one of these things where, like, just whenever we bought the company, we still didn't really know, like, kind of which direction we were going to go with it at first. But we did know we wanted to strip both titles off of the current champions. So we were like, why not have a storyline where he's like, I'm not giving you my belt back.
Yeah.
Like, so we kind of built this storyline of contracting Wesley Pipes to go over there, confront the boys, and steal the belt back off him. And then Zane and Eric later showed up to our first event and challenged for it right away. And funny enough, they won. So they were able to like keep their belt at the end. Like everybody in that crowd, it was so great, man. It was just like a big groan. It was like, oh, it was like, that's what we're doing it for. Letting all of you down.
Yeah.
Love it. Man. I love
it. That's awesome. That's long-term storytelling, baby.
Yeah, and that's where it starts, and you start snowballing stuff from there, you know? Like we didn't know what we were going to do, but now we had a piece to work with, and we can start, you know, putting the love and passion into that and start to grow it into something else.
Right. And I guess like this probably is like a good time here to kind of like elaborate more on this feud that's happening with No Class, Bobby Bass, and apparently there's another guy out there using that name, right?
Yeah, so like the story goes, like I'm relatively newer to the wrestling scene in the Maritimes here. Like I had followed a few things here and there, but I wasn't as heavily involved as I am now. So I do know No Class Bobby Bass. When I was a kid in our local area here, we had a promotion called Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling. So like when you turn on the TV, we weren't getting WWF, we were getting Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling. So that's what like our region was exposed to back in the early 90s and shit like that. So we were used to those wrestlers, and Bobby Bass was he was the man. Like, he was No Class. He'd do whatever he needed to do to win. You know, he wrestled all across Canada for Calgary, in Calgary there for Stampede Wrestling, where like Bret the Hitman Hart and everybody's from. He did Maple Leaf Pro. So he's like a very recognized wrestling legend from our area, which is pretty awesome.
That's nice.
But yes, there's another gentleman named Eric Bass who has been using the same Monkier there of the No Class. So there's been like a confrontation there where it's like, hey kid, you're using my name. Like, yeah. So in wrestling, there's a lot of like respect, and like you want to use a certain finisher move, you go and talk to somebody.
Right.
If you're using the same gimmick, you go talk to somebody. So at our last
I'm assuming
event,
that never happened.
Yeah. At our last event, we had received like some legal advice to maybe suspend Eric while he uses that name. So we did. We actually suspended him from attending the events. We said,
Yeah,
like,
it's
as long
crazy.
as you're using that name, no class, you're not welcome here. So,
It's
anyways,
laying down the law right there.
we get a message from Bobby Bass, the original no class, and he said, "Don't suspend him. I'm gonna come and confront him myself."
Oh, nice.
This guy's like, he's in his 70s now. And he's got a few choice words for the next generation about respect and stuff, which I think is kind of ironic considering he was like the no class man. But yeah, it's shaping up to be something like historic. Yeah. Like there's gonna be some
awesome.
history stuff there with a legend coming back into a ring to confront the next generation, right? Like it doesn't happen every day.
Absolutely. That's cool. That's so cool. I love that. It's again, like you said, you're kind of like catering to almost like some of the OGs and then some of this newer fan base, kind of bringing it together. But like this happened, it clearly seemed to happen organically.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just like, wow, what a story to tell, and at the same time, I love the fact that he reached out and he's like, you know what? No, don't suspend.
Yeah, he's
giving
like,
the easy
don't
way.
Suspend him. He's like, put me in front of him. I'll tell him all about it. Right?
Yeah.
That is old school. That is old school.
I mean, he knows how to promo and he's got a promo and everything. It was like, I got some words for you, kid. Like,
that's awesome.
So yeah,
he sees money to be made, bro. He sees money to be made.
True.
I don't know.
True. I'm hoping we see a clash between these two, and we're looking forward to this, man.
Well, we had kind of like thought about that too. Is like, how do you have this 70-year-old dude step up against this 20-year-old guy? It doesn't really kind of
long-term storytelling, baby.
Yeah, but long term.
I'm sure you figured that out, cuz
we figured with Eric Bass being a manager, we would kind of just like look at Bobby as being a manager too. So we're gonna have somebody come and represent Bobby Bass in the ring as well. So
that'd be awesome.
Oh yeah.
I can't give away too many Easter eggs there, but it's
all good.
Yeah.
We'll stick around and check it out.
Hey, Justin, I did want to ask. I know you do your events at a brewery, in Alberta, right?
Brewing Company.
Yes. How did they come around? How did that come around?
So, like, weirdly enough, it was super hard to get a venue around here. I don't know if that was like due to brand damage beforehand, or if that was just due to lack of venue space. We're kind of unique too. Like, even when you get a ring built, you need like 16-foot ceilings for having guys go off the top ropes and stuff, right? So you can't just set up anywhere.
Right.
And like outside events and stuff like that, you're so like dependent on weather. Like, we wanted to have something that we're going to call home base as well. So I had kind of shopped around to a couple different venues and then eventually spoke to the people down at PEI Brewing Company. And kind of like I was saying with Housefront Productions, they were just like really eager to like get in on something like this. They're like, we've never done something like that. So yeah, exactly. Big shout out. So like they were super excited to, house us. Let's see how it goes. We committed to doing 4 events there this year.
Awesome.
And then now next year, like we're committing to do, double that. So
nice.
Like we're going to step it up.
That's
and they've
awesome.
been like great growing partners with us. I can't say enough good things. The venue is awesome. Like they got these big wood beams going around. There's like some chandeliers and stuff like that. Real fancy wrestling. But
ladder matches. Let's go.
Hey, no Easter eggs.
Title on the chandelier. Let's go.
Exactly.
Let's go.
and Justin, since there is a lot of like impact moves that are happening, and this is a very physical event, it's good that you have a drywalling and paint business. You can fix anything up, baby.
I may or may not have had to fix walls at concerts before.
It's a good to have versus having to use it, right?
Yeah. Sometimes
that must be reassuring.
Pretty rowdy. So
that's crazy. And off topic is just like it's funny when you say that it was happening at a brewery. I'm like, hey, I'm a big craft beer guy outside of this whole pro wrestling stuff. So one of these days, I have to be there.
Yeah,
that would be just awesome.
And they got a slew of good variety of beers down there too. Like even some of our people at the show, and even once again, shout out to the venue. We're able to do a wet dry situation down there, so it's an all ages event where people who are of age can buy a drink.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, so everybody has like wristbands on and stuff like that. Like you need to have a wristband to be able to purchase a beverage, and that way, you know, there's not kids purchasing beverages and stuff like that, but they're still able to come in and enjoy the show, right? So
right. No, that's cool. Family fair event, right? I guess kind of like thinking about the talent, right? Like obviously now we're in the world of like so many different promotions. We're seeing a lot of people bounce around here and there. Has any of your talent gone to sign like with any of the major promotions out there, or kind of like maybe talk us through this journey of like how talent goes in and out of your promotion in that sense?
Well, we had August Artois back in June 7th, and he's now been featured on NXT twice since that event.
Okay.
So big shout out to Augie there and getting a little bit of a bigger break. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, we've had talent move on to do bigger production stuff as well, which is pretty cool. I told him, I was like, you asked them if they were watching us on Twitch, but I don't know if they were or not. So, but it was cool to see him get that nod. Like, there's people that put the hard work in behind the scenes that they really do deserve to get that next pop up, right?
Yeah.
Putting in the work, sometimes it feels like you're not making any headway and you're just treading water. But at the same time, like you just wait until somebody notices you bobbing there, and then it was all worth it. So, yeah, that was pretty cool to see him go there. And then we've also had some other people been approached about doing some WWE stuff, which is pretty cool. So there'll be some more like releases down the road and stuff here, but it's cool to see the talent be able to get recognized. And like I want to be the promotion that other promotions are watching and being like, okay, that's how that guy looks on stage. Maybe we can get him on our bigger stage. Like I'm totally cool with popping guys up to the next level as well.
Awesome.
Like ultimately I'd love to be like certified by WWE ID or like some other promotion that says, hey, we want to come scout at your events. If there's
That's a great spot to be in.
Yeah, like, and if there's any scouts out there that want to come in person and watch an event, get in contact with me. I'll put you up at a hotel and have you come see it firsthand, right? So,
Jay, now is your time to say this. You're WWE, you know you're watching. You know you watch the show.
Oh yeah, I know you watching, man. You've been borrowing some ideas from us, man. I know that.
They always watch.
You know?
No, that's awesome. That's great. That's great to hear though, because it's interesting too, because I know like there are those moments where obviously the releases do happen, right? And we see it from all promotions. How is that on your end, where you see somebody and you're like, we got to bring this guy on board, or like how's that process?
I'll tell you, Carlito's asking for way too much money right now.
Yeah.
Hey, he's like, I'm at my peak right now, brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I mean, like we see the releases happen, and but it's got to fit with our mold, right? We don't want to just do a one-off booking. We want to increase character development and have people be a part of a storyline. So, as cool as it is to like bring in a WWE name or an NXT name or something like that, it's got to make sense to us long term.
Absolutely.
You know, for a short-term game, it's a cheap pop. We want people who are going to be invested in the storylines and like having the fans coming back for more.
Without naming any names, Justin, I want to just ask you, like, has there been any talent, whether they're big indie guys or, you know, developed names that are kind of difficult to work with? Again, no, you don't have to mention names. Kind of difficult to work with, and, you know, you just say, maybe it's not going to work.
Yeah,
Or
I've done that.
if
I've
you
done that.
had to like convince somebody, hey, come to a promotion. We're a great platform for you to actually showcase your skills. Anything in
So yeah, like the nice thing there is that now we've had 2 events. People know what we're offering wasn't just a one-off from one
Mhm.
show. We have great quality production. Shout out to those guys again.
Shout out.
And now we have some content to showcase to the talent. Like, hey, check out our last show. This is what we were able to accomplish. So we're actually noticing more and more that people are approaching us. They want to come
Nice.
here.
Great.
We're not so much doing a talent search anymore.
Mhm.
They're recognizing our promotion and the work that we're putting into it to showcase people really well. So they're reaching out to us, but there's definitely some difficult egos along the way. But I mean, you get that everywhere. You get that in the music scene. You get that in construction. You get that everywhere you go.
Mhm.
It's just not everybody's a gem to work with all the time. Um, and like maybe it's a little more prevalent in wrestling because people are those characters, you know what I mean? And they have to like kayfabe it or something like that.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I mean, it just doesn't work sometimes. And we're kind of figuring it out as we go here too. There's some people that are beauties to work with. There's some people
Mhm.
who are difficult to work with, and there's some people who are just happy to work with you. So it's we're getting that like weird balance now where we're still vetting people as well, right? Like it's not 100%. It's never going to be 100%. That's it's like the biggest
Mhm.
thing I've learned about wrestling is it's a constant pivot. Like
Mhm.
the day of the show, you have a guy drop out. What do you
Oh
do?
shoot.
You've just
Mm.
advertised him for, the last 2 months straight and all of a sudden he's not coming. So
Yikes.
it's a constant pivot. You always have to have like a B plan and a C
Mm.
plan, D plan, right? So
Okay.
yeah.
So it is interesting because like I was always curious to know like what are your like day-to-day norms, like being behind like the promotion, right? And some of these things we see it on the obviously on the media side of it where
Mhm.
you got people like kind of like, oh, breaking out news and stuff like that. But how are things like on a day-to-day basis for somebody like yourself running a promotion that people may not actually know?
I mean, it's a lot of lists. Like, I'm gonna give another shout out to Adam Doucette on our board of directors. He's the Deuce running the State of the Union podcast there. Uh, he's very organized. I'm a very like get her done sort of fella, maybe not so organized. But having a constant like chip away list. What's on the list today? What's the top priority item? And just like making sure to stay organized. Have we contacted X talent? Have we seen any promos from Y talents, like just kind of making sure to just do a quick check around the circle. And that's what's so great about having the board of directors is like, A, that keeps it fun first because it's not all on my shoulders. If it was all on my shoulders, I can see why other promoters in this industry are so stressed and like,
Yeah.
uh, you know, but by commission here, like we're able to accomplish a whole bunch of stuff with the board of directors and having an accurate like priority list and like even a subsidiary list of like things that are going to make it to the list so it doesn't like fall out of the head, right? But yeah, like day to day is reaching out to I like to reach out to our champions. That's the biggest thing I like to do. Like Fantana is our current PEI um
Shout out Fantana.
belted champ. Yeah.
Maritime
And
luchador.
I love it, yeah, and, I like to check in on him. I wanna know how he's doing, how the family's doing, like, just, like, make it a little bit more than like, "Hey, I hired you to wrestle."
Right.
So, like, building a good positive relationship with people is gonna make them want to work with us. It's going to make, them feel appreciated, because they're the ones out there putting their bodies on the line there too. So,
Right.
we always want fun first, safe, and good times for people to wanna come back.
Oh, that's
I love the
awesome.
professionalism
Yeah.
and how you answer that, like just your day-to-day
Yeah, thanks, man.
business. It's
Nice.
very like you're running it very professionally, and also there's also a passion to it. Like, you checking up on the wrestlers. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. Well, without them, what do we got, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, tell people that they're appreciated and we're happy to be working with them. that's that little bit going a long way. It's all the little things. Check in on somebody, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think sometimes as fans, we forget about those things, right? And like when we watch the products and we watch the talent, we tend to forget like these people are still people. They're humans. They got
They're not
their
just
own
characters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's like we can't expect them to just operate on our time to entertain us. There's also their lives and clearly behind the scenes that we are not really part of. And it's good to hear that like a promotion like yours, specifically with you and your board of directors, are very engaged in that aspect. And I'm not going to say that I know much behind the scenes for anybody else, but it's such a breath of fresh air to hear that part, though.
Yeah, thank you.
And like and granted, you're like you're in the position of where you are. I don't think a lot of people have to, but you doing small things like that, it does go a long way, And
I'm saying even on a regional scale, like if people are seeing what we're doing, we're going to push the professionalism of all the promotions up.
Yes.
Because like just offering those little things, taking care of those little things that people they're not too important, but if you take care of it, the people will appreciate that and they'll want it. Becomes a better community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Justin, like what kind of things can like a wrestling fan expect from like a smaller indie promotion compared to like a big box AEW, WWE, TNA kind of promotion when they come to see something like your promotion?
So I don't want to say I'm cocky, but like we can also provide great storylines. We can also provide good production. We can also provide good talent. I think it just comes down to deeper pockets and like the bigger stage and coordination and stuff like that. We can do all that stuff, but it takes time. We're 6 months into this business venture here with IPW. I like to think it's going okay, but as I said, we're always kind of trying to move on up. But there's nothing that the big guys can do that we can't do. They just have a wider range and availability, and and I mean, time in industry is a big one too, right? So, I mean, hopefully in 20 years or something like that, people look at IPW as like a fantastic professional promotion to work for, and we're already seeing people reach out to us now, but maybe we just bigger names reaching out and saying, "Hey, let's do your stage," or those are all in the business plan. So
there you go.
Yeah,
of course.
Hopefully we can just keep trending the right way. So,
and I just wanted to bring up one more thing. I just wanted to share a story, and I wanted to ask you a question. So back in high school, I got suspended for telling somebody to suck it, and I also saw in one of your other interviews that you got detention for Degeneration X stuff. So tell us about it.
Yeah, grade 4 Miss Nantis. She wasn't so stoked about hearing sucking. So yeah, shout out to Miss Nantis.
That's too funny.
Yeah, and it's weird though. Like I was at that impressionable age. Degeneration X was a huge thing. Like everybody going around doing a suck it. Like, yeah. It spread like wildfire, especially in like grade 4, 5, and 6, man. Like all the kids were like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm more of a NWO guy myself, so
yeah.
Hey, for life, baby.
I like the NWO too. It was good.
Yeah.
We definitely had those groups back in our heyday. For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if you actually knew, Justin. Myself and Nick were from the same high school. Even back before I moved out this way. So yeah. So and Nick's kind of a beast. He's like a gentle giant, as we say. But this dude, I was
scared to cause a ruckus by times either.
I'm just saying. If at any point you look in the scout. Another island boy. No. I'm just saying.
We actually had a female wrestler reach out to us from Hawaii. Actually,
Oh, really?
I forget her name offhand. I'd have to go back in my messages here. It's on my
Okay.
list of homework to get through, but
For sure.
I thought that was pretty neat that, we're reaching eyes there too. So
Yeah, that's great.
Nice. That's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one
Hey,
thing I'd really like to do in the future is build a solid women's division here.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, and you know what?
offer
Hey,
a
the
women's
women's division
title.
is hot nowadays. You know what I mean?
It's come a long way.
And that's the thing. It's not all just like sex appeal and divas
No.
like it used to be.
Yes.
It's
Absolutely.
quality wrestling happening.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yep.
to like the current product that we see right now, you can still have that hot appeal, but they're
Yeah.
talented. Like they're athletes. These girls are
Tiffany
women.
Stratton, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like before, like I was saying, like in an earlier podcast, where like I would say, like before when we were watching this bras and panties match, right? Where Tiffy can actually be in a lingerie, but she still performs. Like you have to take her serious. Like
Mhm.
it's dope, man. The women are really kicking butt.
And
Hey, wait. Okay.
and
so
they're
before-
killing it too. Like
Yeah.
every time you watch NXT or something, they're always promoting a woman wrestler
Yep.
because like they know
Mhm.
it's trending right now. They know it's
Mhm.
high impact stuff happening.
Hey,
People
let,
watch
let-
for
let
the
me
plot.
ask you a hard hitting question. Justin,
Oh
who do you
god.
like better,
Oh god.
Oscar or Julia?
It's an inside joke between this podcast.
It's an inside. It's
We
an
had
inside
to
joke.
go there.
Had to go there.
Jay refuses to pick between Oscar and Julia.
Yeah,
So-
I'm
so
kind
who
of
do you-
there too. Yeah.
You had to
I'm
pick
kinda like-
one.
Yeah.
You had to
Plead the
pick
fifth
one.
on no, I'm pleading the fifth on this one. There's a veto vote.
Oh.
Oh man, that's too
That's
funny.
hilarious. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just a running joke with Jay. Though, like we can't seem to get the answer out of him, but we will eventually.
There's no
you-
picking, man. There's no picking. There's no picking,
It
man.
depends on the day of the week. Let's just say that.
And just plead the fifth. Plead the fifth.
Hey Justin, that's I want to say, man, it was a pleasure of having us on our show, though.
Oh, thanks
you
for
on
having
our
me.
show,
Yeah.
and taking the time, and especially today is your birthday. We don't want to
Happy
hold
birthday,
you up
Justin.
any much longer.
Happy
you gotta go
birthday, brother.
celebrate. And
Oh,
we
Justin.
definitely want to make sure that this is not the last time, though, right?
Yeah, 100%. Do this again, 100%.
Yeah,
Justin, just to give it out there, where can they follow Island Pro Wrestling? How can they watch the content? What platforms are you on? Please tell us. We want
We
everybody
got
to see the plug.
Facebook. Yeah, we're Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, YouTube, Twitter. We're on all the big ones there, and
Twitch.
everything is that. Yep, and the Twitch too. Like actually, even at the last event, at the first event we did, we were strictly Twitch. But then now we've like kind of evolved that. We streamed to YouTube and Facebook and Twitch at the last one.
Nice.
That was kind of like a
Nice.
little bit of like a trial run to see how that would work. So, but yeah, we're on Twitch too. Like we have some of our board of directors actually on there doing some IPW gaming stuff. They're
Nice.
running a
Nice.
little gauntlet right now of like WWE 2K. So yeah, you'll
Good
catch Demonic on there doing some gameplay and stuff too.
So-
But I mean, it's all at Island Pro Wrestling. You search it up, you'll see us.
We'll definitely make sure to add that all onto this podcast episode.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And again, well, thank you for joining us, and to our viewers, subscribers, everyone, continue to follow us, and please support Island Pro Wrestling.
Support wrestling.
Absolutely,
Support wrestling.
absolutely, yep. Hey, but great show, good times, guys. Appreciate
Okay,
it,
guys.
everybody.
Thanks for having me.